Welcome to the Landmark Sports Show. Broadcasting to you live from Landmark High School with Ant and John. It's a rainy Tuesday here in New York City, but we're bringing you some UFC, MLB, NBA, and Landmark softball action.
Yep.
To lead off, Ant's got some UFC, MMA updates for us. What do you got, Ant?
All right. So, well, not much UFC, but we'll start with a different MMA organization.
Okay.
Bellator MMA. They are holding an event at Madison Square Garden, June 24th. And it's called Bellator 180.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan Bader, the man who just signed with Bellator, one of my favorite fighters, was supposed to fight King Mo on that card.
Mm-hmm.
But Mo, he got injured. So, Ryan Bader is going to fight Phil Davis in a rematch for the Bellator Light Heavyweight Championship of the world.
That's big.
That is. I mean, everybody kind of expected that would happen one day. When Bellator signed Ryan Bader, they would give him a title shot.
That was the fight that they were anticipating?
Fans were, but, Bellator wanted to give Bader one fight first, but this is a good backup plan, to have him fight Davis again after Mo got injured. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really good backup plan.
And that's in June, you said?
June 24th.
Okay. And you think that would be a big draw? A lot of people will be interested in that one?
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to be interested in that entire card.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that card is stacked from top to bottom.
Nice. Well, so we'll look forward to that.
Yep, that we will.
What about anything UFC coming up, or not as much? Bellator is kind of stealing the limelight here a little bit from UFC, huh?
I mean, Bellator has been off to a great start this year. I mean, if you ask me, because the thing is, I told my family this. Watch, one day, Bellator is going to have a better year than the UFC, and they are slowly going to turn better into UFC. And what's happening now? I was right.
Yeah. They're certainly approaching them, right? I mean, they got this big card at the Garden.
Yeah, I mean, Bellator, they're looking good this year. They're looking strong.
What do you think Bellator has going for them that UFC might not have? Like, why do you anticipate that they're going to overtake them?
Well, just because of the fights that Bellator is making, because UFC, they're making these matches that don't make sense,
Mm-hmm.
But Bellator, they put on fights that actually mean something, that puts the fans on to what they want to see.
That's important.
Yeah, and I mean, Bellator has been looking good this year. I mean, see if they can keep it going. I mean, you're having an MSG card, which I never expected them to have a Madison Square Garden card. If they were going to have a MSG card, I thought it was going to be in the theater of Madison Square Garden.
Right.
But it's actually in the arena.
The main arena, wow.
The main arena.
Yeah, you got to be big in order to get the main arena. That's
the
most famous arena in the world, folks.
And now Bellator's off. Bellator's going there. But UFC, nothing going on really. Not until UFC 211 on May 13th. Actually,
that's not too far away.
Yeah. However, I can't say. Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson, he's on his way to making 11 title runs.
Wow.
Because he tied the record of Anderson Silva during spring break.
Mm-hmm.
He tied the record by beating Wilson Reese by submission in the third round, and now he's up to 10 title defenses.
Now, can you explain for those at home, when you say title runs, so he has the title, he's defended it 10 times now?
Yeah.
Wow. That's impressive.
Yeah, that's Anderson Silva's record, 10.
So that's the longest anybody's ever defended a title.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, yeah, it's got to be hard to hold on to a title when everybody's gunning for you, right? I mean, everybody's getting up for that fight, obviously.
I mean, the thing is, Demetrius Johnson has no competition in the flyweight division.
Oh, really?
He's their main guy.
He's just that much better than everybody else?
Of course. He beats everybody.
All right. So I got a question for you. I was checking out a little bit UFC Fight Night. And for those of you that didn't see this at home, you're going to want to Google it. You're going to want to check it out. We have Mike Platinum Perry knocked out Jake Ellenberger. And it wasn't the knockout that was interesting. It was kind of the way Platinum responded to the knockout. So, ladies and gentlemen, again, if you haven't seen this, go Google it. Get on the Google machine. Check it out. he knocked him out. Then he did a break dance, a spinning break dance on the mat. And when he landed it, he was staring at Ellenberger, who was still knocked out. He was unconscious. So my question for Ant, who knows way more obviously about MMA than I do, is there a point where like that is too much? So like we know that in UFC and MMA, like the Conor McGregor way is very popular, right? Like talking a lot of trash, showboating, all that kind of stuff.
The McGregor walk.
Right, the McGregor walk, all that stuff. But my question is there a point where it goes too far and it becomes like disrespectful? What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. You see, after a fight, when you look at Conor McGregor, obviously he does his walk, but after a fight, he doesn't look at the guy after he does his thing. He's not disrespectful. Mike Perry, I don't know what he was thinking, because when you're doing a dance and then right after you look at the guy while he's unconscious, then that just shows you that you have no respect for any of your competition. Because in MMA, whether you're fighting or not, you gotta have respect for your opponent.
Right.
Ronda Rousey and Miesha Tate, while they hate each other, they have respect for each other in the octagon. So. Yeah. And it comes to a point where after you become so cocky after a fight, then, you take that into your next fight, and then you get knocked out.
Right.
If you don't believe me, ask Luke Rockhold. He got cocky in the Michael Bisping trash talking, and he got knocked out.
No, I think that's a great point. I hadn't even thought about that. Is pre-fight, like McGregor does, you're selling the fight, right? So a lot of it's hype, a lot of it, the trash talk. But then after the fight, yeah, like guys shake hands, they hug, like, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I think you nailed it. I think that's a great distinction that, like, before the fight, it's all just kind of part of the fight, but after the fight, there should be respect.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think you nailed it. I completely agree.
Nice, thank you.
All right, you want to shift gears to the MLB?
Let's do it.
All right, so right now, MLB, everyone knows Ant's a big Yanks fan, I'm a big Phillies fan.
Yeah.
Yankees are sitting at 11-7. They're 2 games out of first place behind the Orioles. Phillies are an even 9-9, 3.5 games out of first behind the Nationals. So, Ant, how you feeling about the Yankees' relatively hot start here?
I love it. I said this before the season started that I'm expecting a lot from these young guys that are up and coming to the Yankees organization, I mean, you look at this. Aaron Judge, he has, 6 or 7 home runs now?
Yeah, he's killing it.
Oh, my God. Best player on their team right now. I mean, when you need him, he will hit a shot for you.
And he's young, right? He's one of the young guys?
Yeah, I mean, he came last year.
They're also getting pretty good pitching, right? Like, even, CeCe has been decent, right? Which they weren't really expecting.
Nobody was. I mean, right now he's 2-1, and he's done really good so far. I mean, the first 2 games he did really good. His last pitching. Sometimes he have a bad night. It's not his fault.
Right.
Sometimes you just have a bad day. I mean, we all get that at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As for my Phillies, I'm feeling pretty good at 9-9. It's not bad. I'm kind of. I think the Phillies are also sort of like the Yankees, where they're rebuilding. They got a lot of young players. I'm not quite as optimistic about them as you are the Yankees, but I think that they can play about 500 ball and that they can be in it until maybe July or August. And they got some young guys that are playing pretty well for them. So as a Phillies fan, I'm excited. They've won 4 in a row. They're playing the Marlins now. There's still some pieces away, and they still have to get a little bit more mature. But I'm feeling pretty good about them.
Who did they just win in a series?
The Braves. So it wasn't like it was a great
so
team.
So what? They
just swept them. Yeah.
Okay, so who did they beat for the 4th game?
The Mets. They beat Syndergaard, actually.
That's right.
Yeah.
I remember watching that game when they beat the Mets.
Yeah. So they got a hot start against him, and then rolled through the Braves. And I know the Braves aren't a great team, but anytime you can get a sweep, you'll take it, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Whether you're the Braves, whether you're any team that sucks,
Yeah. Basically. Any other MLB stuff, or we're still kind of getting into the start of the year?
Yeah, we're just getting into the start, Thing is, we gotta wait a little longer, You can't expect to go into baseball season and just immediately go undefeated or just sweep every series. You have to build time to do that. I mean, Yankees still need time to build up these young players. Yes, along with your Phillies, they need time to develop those players so that they can actually sweep series.
Yeah, yeah, and it's a long season. We're still in April, right? So
Yeah.
nothing's decided yet. But
Yeah.
I would say like towards the end of May is when things start shaking out a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Let's talk about the NBA playoffs.
All right. So the NBA playoffs have been interesting. Have you been watching much? I've been watching a little bit.
I have been actually. Cleveland, Golden State, they swept the series.
Yeah, no surprise there, right?
Nah, I mean, those were like the last teams that made it to the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean Cleveland was technically their 2 seeds, so they played in the 7, but it might as well be the last team. It was a mismatch.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, when you're going up against Indiana, they have not been the same team over the years. I mean,
Right.
and who was it that Golden State just swept?
The Blazers. So
Yeah, Trailblazers aren't that good either. I mean,
no.
yeah, but it's always cool to make it to the playoffs. Whether you win, whether you advance far or not, it's
Yeah.
always good to make it to the playoffs because now you know where you have to improve in, so that next year you could be better.
Yeah, that's true. Right, you can kind of measure yourself up. Like for example, the Pacers, who were the 7 seed, they got swept by the Cavs, but they played them tight in almost all the games. So
They did.
You're right. Just like you're saying, they can look at themselves and be like, okay, we're close. We need to change this or we need to change that. But they can measure themselves up.
Yeah, exactly.
The one series, some of these that are 2-2, I'm not really that surprised. Like Clippers, Jazz, I think they're pretty evenly matched.
That was the number one game I was actually looking forward to. That's the series I was really looking forward to.
Yeah, it's been exciting because I think they're pretty even.
Yeah.
Same thing with Washington and Atlanta. I think those are pretty evenly matched teams. I've been surprised by the Spurs and the Grizzlies.
Yeah, I was expecting the Spurs to take this easily,
Me
but
too.
gotta give respect to the Grizzlies, man. I mean, they're putting on a fight.
Yeah. I really like their coach. I don't know if you caught, they had a press conference and the coach was pretty fired up about how many fouls were being called on his team as opposed to the Spurs. And he really let him have it, and he got fined for it. But I really liked the way he had his players back. I liked how he was kind of fiery. And I think they responded well to it because after he had that press conference, they won 2 games in a row.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
That is. Boston and Chicago, I am kind of surprised about that. I'm a little shocked, because I was expecting Boston as the number 1 seed. I thought they were going to beat the Bulls easily.
Yeah.
But when you have Dwayne Wade on your team, you're in trouble, But, there's been a good series, and see if they could keep it up,
I think, we picked a little while back. Didn't you pick Boston as, if a team could beat Cleveland and get to the finals, you thought Boston might be able to?
Yeah, I said Boston versus the Spurs.
Yeah, because I remember you picked Boston. I said maybe Toronto if it wasn't Cleveland, which is not looking great right now. But they are up 3-2 on the Milwaukee.
Do you feel? Oh yeah, you said.
I said Toronto, Houston, I think. Right?
Yeah, you said Toronto, Houston. The first time we talked about NBA, you said for right now Golden State and Cleveland.
Right.
But
Right.
now, looking at this, Houston or Toronto can make it. The Spurs or Boston can make it. Any team but Cleveland and Golden State. Any team.
Yeah, I think it's pretty wide open.
Yeah, it is. It's just I don't want to see Cleveland face Golden State again.
I know, me either.
For the 3rd year in a row, I would not watch it.
Yeah, I would love to see some new teams, and get some new guys in there, like James Harden or, some of these other guys. Even Boston, with Isaiah Thomas and just somebody new. Seems like it's enough of LeBron in the finals.
Yeah, it just gets annoying.
Yeah.
All right.
So we'll keep an eye on that. I think by the time we film next week, these series should probably be wrapped up, and we'll be looking at the second round.
Yep. Let's switch to our final topic here for today. Softball. Landmark Softball.
Yeah.
All right. Today, actually, we thought today's game was going to get canceled, but today it's the black team versus the pinstripes.
Both of their first games, I think.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So we've had 2 games already against
The
Red. And black and pinstripes they've been rained out twice now.
Yeah.
So they're getting their game in, luckily.
Yeah, at least they're finally getting their game in today. So let's see how that goes from there. But yesterday, not so good for us. We lost 12-4. 8 points again. Like eight is like the magical number.
Yep. Yeah, it's like it's a special number for some reason.
Yeah, that's what my mom was telling me yesterday. And she was saying 8 is like the magical number.
Yeah. we definitely have had a slow start to the year, but one thing I would say about the Landmark Softball League, Ant knows that he played last year. I've played, I guess this is my 4th year now, is it never matters how you start, it matters how you finish. So even though I think us as the blue team, we're having a really slow start, I'm not really that worried because I think it's more important how we're playing towards the end of May than how we're playing now.
Yeah, the thing is, we need to make some adjustments to our team, because, listen, at the end of the day, whether you're the red team, whether you're the blue, black, or pinstripes, your team is not perfect.
Right.
The red team, they may be 2-0, they may have beaten us twice, but they're not a perfect team either.
Yeah, no, not at all.
I mean, listen, all sports teams in the world, nobody is perfect.
No.
However, you can be a great team just as long as, you finish the season off strong. So whether you're going to have a slow start or not, you got to finish strong. I mean, look at this. The year before I came to Landmark, the Pinstripes in the 2014-15 school year, they lost almost every single game, yet they won the World Series.
That's true, yep. Yeah, they made it to the playoffs and got hot at the right time and won it, yeah.
Yeah.
Could happen to anybody.
I feel like this is going to be our time now. I feel like we're following in the shoes of, my old captains, Vanderich, Jose. Shout out to you guys.
Yeah.
I feel like, it's just, our time now to rise up and let's win the title, Because Camille, she's going to go off to college soon. So
yeah. Better win one for her, right?
Yeah, let's try to win the title for her.
Yeah, and I think one good thing, too, and Ant, you're part of this, and Camille, is like our team is very positive, right? Like, we've gotten whooped 2 times now, but nobody got down on each other. Nobody was yelling at each other.
Yeah.
Like, everyone stayed up. Everyone stayed together. So I think, if we keep that going, we're going to turn it around.
Yeah, and the thing is, we're not getting destroyed, We're putting out fights.
That's true. Yeah, that's a good point. We didn't just give up.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yesterday, we had some pretty good at-bats.
Yeah, absolutely.
I thought that this year, because, I haven't played softball in a year, I thought it was going to be terrible this year. But right now, I got to say, I'm shocked that I'm doing good. I'm shocked.
Making some really good hard contact. Playing the outfield well. A couple of those balls you got in really quick. Doing good.
Thank you, man. I mean, yesterday I was surprised I got those 2 hits because I remember Eric was pitching. The first time he pitched, I got a hit. The second time was Jamie, and he pitched, I got a hit. And the third time, it was close. I was this close to getting to base, but they caught up to me, so they touched the base.
And Eric he's probably been in the Landmark Softball League the longest. He's been teaching here a long time, and he's a really good pitcher. He could put all kinds of spin on the ball. So yeah, I mean, a hit off of him is no small thing.
I mean, every time he bats, he gets a home run.
Yeah, yep.
If he was on our team, man, our team would be so much different.
He's really good.
He is. Him versus Zach.
Yeah.
In softball game.
Yep. Absolutely.
Make it happen, Brian.
Make it happen.
1-on-1.
Home run derby.
Yup, home run derby right now.
All right, I think that about wraps us up for this week.
Yeah, it does.
It's good to be back.
It is.
I feel like we were out a couple weeks because of spring break, but it's good to be back. Good to be talking sports with you, Ant.
Yeah, good to be talking about sports with you too. And now we're back for the remainder of the school year.
Yeah.
But when this school year does end, don't think our show is gonna get canceled, folks, because next school year, the first Tuesday, we're back on the air.
Yeah, talking about all the summer sports.
Yep. But for right now, we still have less than 2 months left of the school year, so let's make these next weeks count.
Yeah, we should have like 7 or 8 more shows. So I think our goal should be to get to 20 by the end of the year. Have even 20 episodes for this season.
Oh, I'm pretty sure we'll get to 20, no doubt.
I believe in us.
Yeah. All right.
Want to sign us off?
Yep. Thank you guys for watching today. Enjoy the rest of your week, and we will be back on Tuesday for updates on the playoffs, about softball. Oh, by the way, we have a game on Friday.
Yeah.
We're playing the Pinstripes.
Yep. We're going to get our first win.
Yep, we're going to get our first win. All right, so, well, we'll see you guys next time.
Have a great week.